Welcome to the Hanferd Files. True, scary stories from the internet that really, really happened. These stories will make you wonder what the hell is happening to humanity. Today's story is my roommate's client. So this story is a culmination of months worth of terror and stress, but I couldn't keep a clear conscience and continue with my inaction. I'm at the end of my rope here. It all started at the beginning of the semester. I'm a freshman, double majoring in 2 foreign languages, and my roommate Amanda is a psychology major. Everything was going great for about 2 weeks, until Amanda told me that she had a friend who worked as a cam girl, and wanted her to start camming as a means of extra income. Now, I didn't have a problem with this inherently, as it was none of my business, and I don't have a problem with people's sexualities. And she even promised to buy me nice things once she made it big. However, when she started doing shows, the legalities said that she couldn't do a show with another person in the room unless they were employed with the site as well. Well, this made sense. So, they didn't want anyone under 18 doing sexual shit with their customers. However, this started to take its toll after I would be in my hall's lounge until 2 in the morning every night. My grades started to drop, and I started to get extremely sick. About this time, Amanda started sleeping with one of her customers, Michael, who lived in our town but didn't go to our school. Michael would push her boundaries and force her to call him Daddy, even in casual conversation. So in addition to doing shows late in the morning, she would have Michael over for a few hours on top of that. Sometimes he would even show up unannounced, though thankfully I was never in the room at these times. It escalated one night when he asked Amanda why he never saw me in our room, and he demanded that we have a threesome whether I wanted to or not. Now, I don't know why, but something compelled Amanda to run down to the lounge/study area and loudly announce this to me in front of all my friends. When I was outraged, rather understandably I would say, she flipped and stormed off, telling me that I was being ridiculous and making too big a deal of this. Needless to say, the little time I spent in the room completely ended, and I spent about a week living with a friend off campus. This also proved to be awful, as my walking distance to class every day tripled. It got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore and filed a health and safety check on Amanda. I knew for certain that she had gone off her medication. I was about 80% certain that there was weed in our room somewhere. It wasn't my proudest moment, but I sincerely hoped that she may be expelled, and I could sleep in peace knowing she would hopefully get the help she needed. On top of that, plain Brutus here, a mutual friend, and I held an intervention for her, saying that as a survivor of sexual assault some years prior, I could not remain in her situation and preserve my physical and mental sanity. I thought we actually got through to her. We hugged, we cried, she went back on her meds, and said that after the next payday, she'd quit. She even broke up with Michael, and for a few weeks more, things were good. That was until I was sitting in the lounge, as usual, when she burst downstairs, begging me to do research on a law firm in New York. She filled me in the drama that the core of this problem revolves around. Essentially, she did a private show for a guy as usual, making around $350. Almost immediately after she finished, she received a message from a guy with the same name, saying that he would be pressing charges against her for fraud. This guy all of a sudden dropped all of her personal info on her, including her full birth name, home address, personal info, and where we go to school. He claimed that his lawyers got the site to flip and turn it over so he could press charges. So after my research, I told her to call his bluff and ask for his lawyer's bar's number. Even though I'd already Googled them and found an upscale criminal defense firm in New York City, they were able to work through it and deduce that someone had taken his name and went through with the show that he paid for. He said his name was Calvin, that he was a poorly adopted trust fund kid our age, who didn't really care about losing $350 as much as he did being played. The whole thing seemed ultra sketchy to me, but progressively they started talking more, until she came down one night to tell me that she's going to visit him in Virginia in December, because he's pressing charges against the guy, pretending to be him, and he needs her to testify. I told her that this was fucking nuts. This is how human trafficking happens. I told her to wait until she's served with physical papers summoning her to court, not just Calvin saying that he'll subpoena her soon, so she may as well come anyways. As of me writing this, she still intends to go to Virginia alone to stay with him. As if it couldn't get any worse, one day I came back to my room to grab my laptop, cigarettes, and study material to find them on a Skype call together. Amanda was smiling. It was a bizarre experience to say the least. She knew that it was me, her roommate, finally coming home. He introduced himself by first name, and I left mine at Amanda's roommate. He told me that my voice was sexy and I should come with her to his place in December. I told him my boyfriend would hate the idea. What stays with me, though, is when he said, "You're a clever girl," asking for my lawyer's bar numbers. Asking for my lawyer's bar numbers in a voice befitting some 80s slasher villain. Calvin told me her to go check our mailbox because the new phone he bought her would be arriving any day. She asked me if it's okay if she leaves Skype open, and I wish I could tell her that I said, "No, of course not. Why the fuck would you ask me that?" But I didn't. I said it was fine and stayed out of the line of sight of her webcam. Calvin and I had a long, awkward conversation where I tried to learn as much as I could about him without revealing myself about it. Here's what I got. He is English with a London accent. His parents are insanely rich, and he never had much of a social life. I learned his major, his minor, what school he goes to, and why he goes there. But the entire time his webcam was off and his Skype icon was still set to the default. Now, she may have put me through the emotional ringer, to say the least, but I couldn't live with myself knowing that I let something terrible happen to her. Last night, she came down to the lounge to tell me that Calvin had bought her a brand new MacBook Pro, and that I should send him my Amazon wishlist so he could buy me anything I want, because he likes me, because he wants me to start camming for him, and he knows my name. I didn't sleep last night. I did research on everything I could. I looked up the history of his family. They have their own Wikipedia page. I did searches for him on Facebook and LinkedIn. I found a Facebook page with his name on a cover photo of his school's crest, but the return image search of the profile picture yielded, of all things, a Russian metal performer. It also said he was in a relationship. Sorry, Amanda. Yet, in spite of this, I don't have any proof that he is who he says he is. Hell, he could be some 40-year-old with a high-pitched voice and a knack for accents. I am at a loss for action. My RA said that the only thing the university could do for me is put me in a safe room across campus, and Amanda won't listen to me. If you PM me, I could give you more information on Calvin and his family, in the hopes that maybe someone could legitimize this guy. Any advice would be helpful at this point. But at any rate, Calvin, you're gonna kill and murder my friend. I know it. Wow, that was a scary story. Sounds like the girl, who's Amanda's friend, is being mean and a selfish bitch, because Amanda's getting all these cool stuff and is gonna go marry a Prince Charming with lots of money. I smell jealousy. What do you guys think? But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Hanferd Files. Good night, stay safe, and whatever you do, don't get between two star-crossed lovers with nothing better to do. See ya.